So hey everyone, welcome to the channel. As always, thanks for stopping by and hanging out for a few minutes. My name is Rich Charpentier, I'm the channel host, and today we're looking at something totally different. In front of you, you see an Android tablet screen. So that's right, I'm using a Galaxy Tab S5e, and specifically I'm using it to check out Drone Harmony Plus. So most likely you're watching this on my Patreon channel and you're one of the patrons of the channel, and I thank you very much for being a patron. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it means that I've released it a little while after I released it to Patreon. So we're going to start a new series here on Patreon and probably on YouTube, and we're going to be checking out some drone flight with an Android and Android applications, specifically the Drone Harmony Plus application, which is an enterprise level app. And so this is not a promo for them or anything. What we're doing today is we're actually going to take a look at Drone Harmony and see what it's all about. This is a software application for flight that I looked into the other year. I've got an older Android. It's another Samsung Android. And that particular one couldn't run the software at the time, so I never got to try it out. But I'm always interested in finding tools that will work with my business for my drone flight clients. I actually had a conversation with Drone Harmony the other month. They got in touch with me, and we're going to be doing some work for them as well. So when it's a sponsored thing, I'll let you know. Right now, this is just us checking it out for the first time. So I've literally had this Android set up for about a day. I downloaded a bunch of items, as you can see, for my drone piloting, so I'll be using the Android to check some things out and do some other tutorials on channel. But we're going to take a look right in Drone Harmony. I'm going to go ahead and tap that right now. And I actually do have Allow Drone Harmony Plus to access the DJI Inspire 1. It is not connected to an Inspire 1 right now. It is connected to a Mavic Pro, not the Mavic 2 Pro. I'm going to say OK here, and let's see. So the USB is connected, remote controller disconnected, aircraft disconnected. So I'm not sure, what did I do wrong here? Let's restart this and see if it gets the right drone. So it's still not seeing the... There we go. All right, so I was being impatient, and now it's got everything connected. I'm going to dismiss this because right now I'm in a demo mode. So I've got a 14-day demo on this. But what I wanted to do and show you here today was the Drone Harmony interface. So this is my first time playing around with it on a tablet. I've checked out Drone Harmony's companion website, where you can actually do planning and synchronize your missions, and we'll talk about that later. But first things first, I wanted to just get a look at this thing and see what feels familiar and what doesn't feel familiar. So number one, I have the controller for the Mavic Pro connected. I have the Mavic Pro turned on. It's actually sitting inside my office, and I've actually taken the props off of it too, just in case if it accidentally fired up or something. It's in the building. I really don't want it flying around. So looking at this interface, we've got our top-down map. So we're looking at Google Earth here, our Google Maps. And, I'd been very curious because I hadn't seen all of the interface properties on Android previously. I got to check out their website and see how you can plan on the website, but never the actual application. So this is awesome to have the Android in hand now and to actually take a look at this. So up on the top bar, we've got right up here in the corner, we've got our main settings and setups. So we've got our account, manage our account, and we've got plans and flights, so we can load saved ones, we can save new ones. And we'll be going over this in depth in this series coming up. So right now we're just doing a quick overview. So don't panic. I'm not jumping ahead of you. I'm learning with you. Import and export. So we can import KML and KMZ files, CSV files. I think this is going to be important for some of the higher end flights, and we'll talk about that as we go down the road. Drone, let's see. So we have our media viewer. We can format the SD card, sign in and out of DJI. a gimbal extended range, last drone position, okay. And let's go ahead and close that one. Partners, who they're working with, general, settings, about us, contact us, all right. And then we've also got our help, so the online PDF, and they have their tutorial help. All right, so that's the main setup for that upper left corner. Let's read across the top here. So number one, we've got it in P mode. I don't know what that means, and I'm going to have to find out. It's telling me that I've got 12 to 13 satellites. So that's great. There's our remote controller symbol next. So it's saying that we've got full bars. And of course we do. The drone's sitting a few feet away, and you might actually hear its fan turned on right now. If you do, I do apologize for that. You know, it's got to cool itself. All right, so our battery level is at 98%. The SD card, 0% used. Right now, it's got our speed here in meters per second, and there is no speed going on. So 0 feet above and 0 feet out from us. Sounds good to me because it's sitting still in the studio. Now over to the right, we've got the got our toggle for our maps here, so we could do a search. We can look at different map layers. We can center on ourselves. I'm going to close that one. Here's one that was interesting to me because I never got to see this on their website. Oh, wow, that's looking pretty grainy and stuff because low light here in the studio while I'm doing this recording. So yeah, not the greatest look. It's not the fault of the software. It's my fault for having it in kind of a dark space, I suppose. But I just wanted to see the drone connected. And down on the lower left-hand side, you can see my histogram, and we're way in the dark side here. So, yeah, not so great. We could pump up the ISO, but the ISO's already pumped up to 1600. So next time I do this, we'll put the drone outside. I just closed that window. But so we can actually... let's go back to the camera for a second. So we can fly in a first-person view if we want to. We've got our autofocus and manual focus. We've got our auto exposure lock as well. Down on the bottom of the screen, it's telling me ISO is 1600. Shutter is at 1/5 of a second. f2.2 because that is that drone. So the Mavic Pro, we don't have flexibility with our aperture, and so exposure valuation +3, and white balance is auto. Once again, you know, it's because it's indoors, so that's why we've got this grainy screen right now. So I'm going to go ahead and close that one out. And let's take a further look here. So like I said, first experience in this app for me. On the left-hand side, we have the first button allows us to lay out polygons or circles, and we can actually lay out areas that maybe we want to model. Maybe we want to do a 2D or 3D model. Maybe we're actually checking out building facades, so we can draw in different areas. One of the things that's been very interesting to me with Drone Harmony is their 3D visualization. So what's that about? Let me show you. So I have done a little research on Drone Harmony before, if you can't tell, but I never got to use it, you know, in its native environment as an app on an Android. So I can actually tap that. So I just tapped the Polygon tool, and I'm just tapping out here, and I'm gonna make a simple flight area, and maybe we'll bring it up to here and over to here and back. So maybe we want to fly this area, and the current height of that area, let's say that it's 10 feet above ground level. Okay, I'm gonna hit done, and I'm gonna set that. So now we got this little blue area right here that I just drew out. You know, we could have done it around a building or something. But so let's say that that is 10 feet above ground. I can draw another polygon. So this is why I was interested in this the other year when I first looked into it. I'm going to tap right there. Let's get that tap. Whoops. For some reason, I messed up and turned my tapping off. So I'm going to tap right there and right there. As you can see on this map, we've got some trees in this area. So we're going to play a little make-believe here. This isn't really the elevation that it's at, but let's say that those trees, that whole area was 20 feet above ground level. And let's go ahead and make that one green for trees, and I'm going to hit done and set. So now we've got two figures drawn on the screen here. What was interesting to me, what really got my attention with Drone Harmony, was the fact that you can block out an area that you're surveying, that you're flying, and you can also block out areas around it to keep your drone away from those higher areas that we don't want to run into these trees or anything. So very interesting. And what you do down in the lower left-hand corner, there's this little 3D cube. So I'm going to click the cube. And so what it's showing me is we've got an area in blue that maybe that's the area that I wanted to fly. And then we've got this area in green. So maybe that's my blocked off hazard area. That's what really caught my attention the first time I saw a demo of Drone Harmony. I said, this could be really helpful in documenting buildings, especially documenting buildings that are in kind of congested areas that have other things around them. You can block off a lot. So I've drawn out these two areas, and maybe I want to do my flight over that 10-foot area. Over on the right-hand side, down at the bottom, we have a little plus symbol here. That plus symbol allows us to actually do some different mapping features. So since I blocked an area out, it told me I can do a top-down with it. I can't do a multi-grid with it because I have to define a flat area first. I can do mapping orbits as well. So there are a lot of features in Drone Harmony. As you can see in the plan catalog, it says that there are 30 different plans that you can use. I'm going to pick that top-down. Once again, we're playing with this for the first time, so I'm feeling my way through this just like you are. So I want to fly around my blue blocked area, and I do not want to fly around that green area because maybe that area is full of obstructions and I could hit something. So I wanted to tell it, hey, this area right here, don't fly near it. So we're going to make a plan for that blue area instead, and I'm going to submit that. And now it says to me that I need to set a liftoff point. So where am I going to be flying from? Well, I'll fly from right there in front of that building, and then I'm going to click next, and then optionally select a location for the landing. I'm going to use the same as the liftoff area. And now we've got this top down, and it wants to know how high are we going to be flying above this area. Let's make this a low one. Actually, let's make this 40 feet. And I want you to pay attention to what's happening on the right-hand side of the screen. This is what got me interested in Drone Harmony the other year, and I really had wanted to try it out. Unfortunately, I had an older, out-of-date Android that I was using to test websites with. What's interesting here, we can actually zoom this in, and what we're seeing, this little pyramid going back and forth isn't really a pyramid. The tip of the pyramid is actually the drone. So that's going to be where the drone is flying. And the bottom of the pyramid is showing you where it's actually going to be photographing for your model, okay? So this is pretty darned amazing because we can actually take a look at this and see where it's going to be shooting. So in this case of this one, it's going to be shooting straight down. It's a top down, and maybe we're just doing a two-dimensional orthomosaic setup. So it shows us our waypoints there. It shows us our flight path, and it really helps you visualize when you're doing an area that might be congested. And by congested, I mean having obstructions around it. It's actually going to be smart enough when you block these things out to know where it should be and should not be flying. So I can actually, over on the right-hand side, I set that to the 40 feet above ground. It's telling me the image resolution is going to be 0.16 inches per pixel. And then I can go into the overlap, and we all know how important overlap is when we're doing 3D models. But even for a 2D model, maybe we want a little more overlap. It's also telling us down here, so we can use the sliders to do side and the side overlap and the forward overlap. They're both at 60% right now. I'm going to leave them alone because we're not really flying right now. It also tells me it's going to take 92 images right now with my current setup. I can also go under Advanced. And under Advanced, it's telling me that I am using the DJI Mavic Pro, so that's great. It recognized the drone. Default camera direction, forward. And default gimbal pitch is straight 90 degrees down. So I could change that gimbal pitch. Now, down at the bottom right-hand corner, I can hit Generate, but I don't know enough about that yet. So I'm going to reset this. And we're actually going to go back. We're going to arrow ourselves back, and we're just going to take a step back for a moment. This is just me, like I said, trying it out, tinkering with it, and seeing how it goes. So I'm getting a feel for it already, but it's going to take a little while, and we will be walking through the different types of missions that they offer. So to clear that, below my little buttons here, I have a little trash can button. So that's how I cleared it. And let's take a look at the next one. So we could actually OSM building import. So we could click on a roof of a building to import its outline from OpenStreetMaps data. Interesting. We're not going to try that yet. One thing at a time. And so I can actually make a waypoint here. I'm going to cancel that. Then we've got our trash and we've got our redo and undo. So that's pretty cool. We go into the 3D area and not much is happening here because I don't have anything plotted out yet. And let's go over to the right-hand side to that plus symbol again, because this is the big thing why Drone Harmony interested me previously. The mission types that they allow and that 3D visualization. So we've got the top-down, we've got multi-grids, we've got mapping orbits, which is an interesting concept to me. I actually saw a video about this, and we're going to talk about it because I think it could be very useful for documenting job sites. We've got a terrain top-down, so some type of terrain awareness, so we'll take a look at that. Terrain orbits, that sounds very interesting as well. Then we've got top-down sampling as well, so that's all for mapping. Inspection, this is where we can visualize some 3D modeling. So let's say you're going out to document a 10-story building down in Phoenix, Arizona. I actually had a job call for that recently. And I thought, hey, this might be a great tool for modeling that building. But so they can actually capture an entire site, perimeter verticals, perimeter horizontals, facade verticals, so that we can actually make out the sides of the building, so verticals and horizontals, and facade inspection. So over the course of this series, as I'm doing it, we'll be talking through these. So I'm going really fast right now, and we still are, eating up clock time. But I wanted you to get the idea of what Drone Harmony offers here, and then we'll start into actually utilizing it for some different projects. So they have a lot of plans available. So there's our perimeter. Let's check out shapes. So orbits, panoramic orbits. We can do a helix around a point. We can do a parabolic reveal. There are definitely a lot of features and tools in here. And we also have just some quick ones for fun, doing a rocket or doing a zoom out. Then we have some manual ones. And if you've been a follower here, then you know that I do drone construction progression reporting. So I can actually create manual waypoints for flight paths for video or still photos. I can actually record a mission too, which is similar to some of the other things that I've taught in classes with other tools. We can also record points of interest to set points of interests onto our maps so that we have the drone facing something. So there is a quick view of Drone Harmony. Like I said, we haven't even done anything with it. We just got to take a look at the interface. And the interface is a little different than some of the other applications that we're all used to. We still can do FPV flight views. And so I'm going to be testing dropping waypoints while flying FPV down the road. We'll see if this can fit into one of my projects. I'm going to go ahead and hit the trash can again to get rid of that point of interest there for us. So there is a quick and brief overview of the look of the interface for Drone Harmony. And so stay tuned to this Patreon channel or to YouTube when this one releases, because we'll be walking through several of the items. One other thing that I do have to point out that I like here. So right here in the center, that's a little drone symbol. And you see this little V here, these red lines. That's showing what the camera is going to be covering. So it's showing where the camera is facing right now. And if I was actually photographing or taking video, in between these two red lines is what we'd be picking up. That's kind of interesting and unique. So we actually get a very good view of what the drone is looking at when we're looking at the map screen. So this is going to be a fun learning process. So, get ready for it, because we'll be going through a lot of the features on this. We'll see what applies to my business and what might apply to your business. and we'll talk more in depth about using Drone Harmony. If you're an Android user, this might be a great app for you. They do have a free trial on their website, but I'd suggest checking out some of these videos first, and then when you're ready to go for it, you can do one of the free trials with Drone Harmony and actually start practicing yourself. But we will take this step by step, and so today is just the introduction of the overall interface, and then we'll start working directly with the interface and the different features that it offers in upcoming videos. So I'll see you on the next one, and I hope you're as excited as I am about this. I always love trying out new applications.